Okay. Hi guys. It's here. Okay. All right. It's such an honor to be invited back onto the stage. Like Dylan said, I got to good. Yeah. Okay. I got to be on the Rising Star panel my very first year as an agent, so that was pretty cool. I'm very excited. So just give me a moment here. All right. For those of you who I haven't had the pleasure of meeting yet, I'm Lonnie Marcato, and I am with EXP, the agency team, Hawaii Island. And me in a nutshell, let's see, this way. Okay. I'm a blessed wife. If you guys know my husband, I am blessed. I am a mom of three amazing adulting adults. Super proud of that. We are all avid bull hunters. So that is our quality time. That's our date night. But it also fills the freezer, right? So it's a win-win. I got licensed in February 2022. And, as a new agent, you really don't have a guideline or a reference of how well you're supposed to be doing, right? Good, bad, or ugly. You just don't know. So when I learned that I was on the right track and that I was actually performing well as a newbie, it was such a relief. Again, the first year as an agent, I was on the Rising Star panel with Soraya and Kahea, and that was an honor. So obviously, I did something right the first year. My second year, I got to speak with Tarshim, and we did a little financial education piece at the next level up. And now I'm here with you today, and I get to talk to you guys today about the secret sauce. So a little backstory. I was born on Oahu, raised in a single parent household by my dad. I know it's a little hard to see, but he's a pretty handsome guy. He worked a lot as a single parent. He had to do two jobs, right? Mom and dad. And he did a lot of these odd end jobs as a handyman and as a painter, often for a realtor friend of his. Go figure, right? So after he was done with his jobs, he would take us to these open houses and he wanted to, show us all of his great work that he did. And so my brother and I would run through these rooms and we'd pick out our rooms as if we were going to live there. And that was when I really thought about real estate at a very young age. And so we watched him go every day, hustle every day in, day out, rain or shine. He showed up. He put in the work for me and my brother. After high school, life led me here to the Big Island, where I took a position in retail, where I planned to stay for 5 years. But as life happens, 5 years turned into 20, and I met my husband, and we had 3 kids. So as parents, we too wanted to give them everything that they needed growing up. We bought our first home, which is actually an hour away from here, maybe an hour plus. And, every day was a commitment, just the drive alone. And so, at that time we made it work because as parents, we wanted them to have the best experiences growing up as well. And so we made it work. It put food on the table, clothes on their backs, all the normal things. And so we kept showing up because stability was the goal at that time. When I wasn't working or at kids' sporting events, I coached softball. 20 years of it. And 12 years of that I spent at the high school level. And it was a lot of work to build this program, to create a culture for the players to buy in was probably the toughest part. And so one season stood out. It was the culmination of years of hard work, long practices, overcoming obstacles, and I know it's hard to see, but we won the first Big Island championship for that school, and they had been open since 1997. So in 2019, these girls showed up. But just as the 2020 season was ready to ramp up, COVID hit. Everything came to a stop. I watched my oldest son receive his diploma via drive-through ceremony. Go figure. My youngest son entered high school entirely online. Everybody remembers COVID. Everybody, right? But that's okay. Because meanwhile, we show up to work, we provide, we do all the things. We still showed up to work. Oh, give me a second on this one. Even though we showed up to work, the position I was in was interesting. I was at a point in my career where my pay was capped. Like I literally was capped. No more raises, no more extra money, not even overtime, all of that good things. Today we talk about capping as a good thing. We want to cap, right? But at that time, it was a ceiling that I couldn't break, no matter how hard I worked. Couldn't break it. But we kept showing up. So I stayed in retail for another year, but I knew I needed something different. I knew I needed a different path. So halfway through that fiscal year, I wrote my resignation letter. I dated it 2 months out, and I stuck it in my locker, just waiting for the day that I can turn it in. The day came. I got a big smile in this picture. You guys will see it. Saying goodbye to 20 years. Oh gosh. It was liberating, but it was terrifying. I had no paychecks. I had no steady income, no routine. But that letter was my commitment to myself and to my family. And I was ready to take the next leap. So I signed up for real estate classes. I passed the course. And I'm so freaking happy. I'm on top of the world. Then I hurry up over to Honoka, take my test. And I failed. Yeah, you guys know. I know. You guys know. But that's okay. I went back the very next week, the very next time I could take that test. Retook it, and I passed. I showed up. So with my license in my hand, I was ready to start my new career. And I was free from the daily routine. I didn't have to wake up early. I didn't have to drive an hour plus, pick up kids from school. Oh, it was the life. It was great. In fact, fun fact, I might have stayed in my pajamas the first 1 or maybe 2 weeks because I didn't have to go anywhere. I know you guys did that too. You guys came from a 9 to 5. You guys know. But reality set in really quick because after the 2 weeks, guess what? Or guess what didn't happen? I didn't get paid. I didn't get paycheck. I didn't get to get, money in my bank account. So if I wasn't closing deals, I wasn't getting paid. So I better start trying to figure this shit out. But we finally got the green light. Go back to high school sports. And that got me motivated. It got me out of the pajamas. It got me out of the house. right? Although I still had to drive an hour, that was okay. I was super excited because it got me out of that funk. Because for those 2 weeks, I wasn't showing up. But that's okay because, you know, life keeps going on. So the second year that we went back, I found myself writing contracts during practice, taking phone calls on the softball field, and just I wasn't present. And so I didn't think it was fair, and I knew something had to give. And that's when I decided to leave coaching softball. Something had to give. But that's okay, because after that one final season, you'll see their happy faces in the slides. We won our second BIF championship title. All because the girls kept putting in the work, they kept coming to practice, they kept showing up. Starting out in real estate wasn't what I expected. The first few months, I learned documents, I learned systems. Where was the millions? I was like, what? Okay, I mean, I guess. Like I said, the hardest part I knew, I didn't work for someone anymore. I worked for me. So if I wasn't collecting a paycheck, it's because I wasn't working. It's pretty simple real estate math. So that's good. And I don't know about you guys, but I had major anxiety, like worse than public speaking anxiety. And I just knew. I said, gosh, did I do the right thing? Leaving my job, the steady paycheck, my passion for coaching. I left it all. But that's okay. I continued to put in work. I knew I needed to do something though. And so I joined the Zillow Flex program. And for those of you who don't know, it's a lead source that our team provides, right? Okay. Yeah, so I jumped on one of those calls, and our broker Dylan was going over the list of these top agents, the top agents that sold the most or closed the most Zillow transactions that quarter. And I was like, that's it. I'm going to make that list. I know it's a tiny little goal, but I needed something. I needed a motivation. But with only 3 closings under my belt and third quarter was quickly approaching, I said, I better do something really quick, right? And so I did. I set up a meeting with 2 of our top producing agents. Can't see them, they're so beautiful. Justice and Ivory. If you guys haven't had lunch, book a lunch with them. Pick their brains. That's what they're there for. All their expertise and all of their experiences, all of their advice had really changed the way I looked at things. My first year, I didn't know, like I said, I have no reference, no guide. But my first year, after making that list, I closed 16 transactions my first year, not knowing if that's good, bad, or ugly. Who knows? But they were closed. It was enough to get on the Rising Star panel. Keep that in mind. Go check. So my second year, I was super excited. And I was like, whoop, whoop, whoop. I was ready to grow, right? But I was still kind of celebrating the fact that I didn't have to wake up at a certain time, punch the clock, listen to somebody else. So I periodically jump on team calls. No consistency, just like, it's 10 o'clock, jump on the call. And I remember Dylan saying something that stuck with me. And now, if you guys know Dylan, he says a lot of amazing things. He does. But the one thing that he had said stuck with me at that time. He said, guys, here's the playbook. Just run the play. How many of you guys heard Dylan say that? All the freaking time. Right? And it made sense. I was like, is it that simple? Can it be that simple? So after that finally set in, I was committed. I showed up to every meeting. I showed up to even meetings I wasn't even invited to. I showed up because my FOMO was like, if I miss something. So I showed up to every meeting. And with that shift in mindset, my second year, I closed 35 transactions. And I was recognized as Rookie of the Year. That's pretty cool. And that really hit home for me too, because being a softball gal, I was Rookie of the Year. I was like, that's pretty cool. So interestingly enough, I'm in my third year now. I'm wrapping up my third year. And as I entered my third year, all that momentum that I had built up, 35 transactions, Rookie of the Year, it slowed down. What? I was fully present and I was fully committed. I showed up to everything, so I didn't get it. It's like, what am I missing? So I knew I needed something because I wanted to increase productivity. That should be everyone's goal, at least being productive. And so I needed to do something for myself that required a complete shift in what I was doing, what I was already doing. And so I decided to invest in coaching. Andrew said, you do it for yourself, right? Because you are your own business owner. You're not doing it for anybody else but yourself. You start with yourself, you can take care of everybody else. Easy peasy, right? And so coaching has really, talk about step outside your comfort zone. If you guys haven't even attempted to talk to a coach to see if it's something that you guys could do, it's freaking scary. It's an accountability level that it's like, shit, it's all on me, right? And you got somebody watching you, and it's not in that sense. It's a good way, right? It's that accountability partner. It's that person that's going to push you, and that person is going to help you get to your goals. And so that's what I did. In the past, I want to say 7 months that I've been coaching, I took that first half of the year and flushed that down the toilet because I just doubled the amount and took care of that first half in that 7 months that I took coaching. I just wiped that all out and I said, never mind that ugliness of first quarter, and I made up for it during the time that I was coaching. So it's definitely made a huge impact in what I'm doing and what I want to do for 2025. And now that I've built enough structure in my business, I have a clear vision of what I want to do and where I want to go. I get to have another opportunity to be called Coach Lonnie again. So, true story. We all know that we work hard in business, and sometimes we just said, frick this, I gotta go on vacation. And so we know what happens when we go on vacation. Yeah, everybody wants to write a contract, right? Everybody wants to buy something when you go on vacation. So it's like, okay, I got this. But what also happened was I got a phone call requesting that I return coaching softball. And so now that I know how to balance work, life, passion, I get that opportunity. I get that opportunity to show up not just in real estate, but now on the softball field again. And so if you haven't figured it out, I'm sorry, but there's no secret sauce. I just wanted to come and work on my scripts and everything with you. No, just kidding. But there's no secret sauce. Dylan asked me to come up here and tell you the secret sauce to success. And I can't because there's none. It was as simple as showing up and putting in the work. Go figure, right? And so, whatever success looks like for you, because success looks different for each and every one of you in the room today, whatever it looks like, just show up. Show up and put in the work. And that's all I have to say about that.